His story is one of my favorites when I was covering the league, and now he's covering the league alongside everybody at the NFL Media Group, and he's on NFL Total Access every night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Third-round pick in the 2007 draft, pride of San Jose State. Green Bay, Super Bowl champion, played with the Raiders also. Good to see you, James Jones.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
I just want to get into this real quick. Your story, playing football. Yeah. Did football save your life, do you think?
Absolutely, man. That was my main motivation growing up, man. That's, a lot of people may not know my story, but growing up homeless for the first 15 years of my life, in and out of homeless shelters, slept on park benches. Football was always that woo-saw, man. Whenever I got on the football field, it was always that woo-saw. All the problems outside of football didn't matter. And, a lot of my coaches would tell me, man, that you got the ability to play in the National Football League. And I knew that could be a way for me to get my mom out the situation. So it was always my main motivation, man. And, in 2007 when I got drafted in the third round, man, everybody went crazy, man. And I tell people all the time, there's no greater feeling than working extremely hard for something, dreaming about it, and then it finally comes true.
So who gave you the shot? Who gave you the shot to get off a park bench and start playing football, James?
Well, my coach, Marion Larea, he came and he donated a meal to the homeless shelter. And I was probably about 7 years old, and he seen me outside playing football. I wasn't eating or nothing. I'm just outside throwing the ball up. And he came up to me, talking to me for a little bit, like, man, you want to play football, this and that? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to play football, man, but my mom don't got the money and all that, so, I can't play right now. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, I'm the coach for the Santa Teresa Bulldogs, and I want you to be on my team. And he talked to my mom. He was like, look, we're going to pay for this kid to play. You're going to be on our team. And he paid for my whole Pop Warner career for me to play, man. And it took off from there. Man, I used to sleep at his house, stay at his house, and all that good stuff, man. He feed me and all that stuff. So, he was the main one, man, that gave me my first shot.
James Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show. So what was it like for you to win a Super Bowl? What was that like?
Man, it was dream come true. And it's crazy because I'm not a big crier, I'm not a big crier, but
okay.
When the clock struck zero and I seen the confetti coming down, I couldn't hold my tears back. I just started crying, you know what I mean? I dropped to one knee. I just started crying, and I'm sitting there like, I'm not crying because of the game, like we won, but all the stuff started kicking in, like the journey that I've been through, everything that I've faced, and I'm sitting here, the biggest game in the world. I'm a Super Bowl champion. I'm the best in the world now. Can't no team say they better than us. And just thinking about everything I've been through, man, the tears just started coming down, man. And I was just telling my man in the back, man, there's no greater feeling than winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, T.J. Jefferson, who was chatting with you for our social media accounts. I can't wait to see the chat that you had with him later on when we post it later on. And now you're proving successful in that difficult transition period of playing, and now you're part of the NFL Media Group, breaking stories like Aaron Rodgers' contract. NFL Network's James Jones, by the way, was the one who wrote that one. That might have been an interesting day for you.
It was. Aaron Rodgers had called me the day before, and he was like, JJ, get ready. It's about to go down. And I'm at home scrambling like, it's going down right. He's like, no, tomorrow. Tomorrow's probably going to go down tomorrow. So I'm like, okay. So my wife had the tweet all done already.
Your wife? Okay.
My wife had the tweet all done and ready already. So all we needed was numbers and years. I'm like, that's, I'm not finna get in the whole breakdown like Ian and those guys. I'm like, just give me numbers and years, and I'll have what I'm going to say in there. So I'm actually at the gym working out, and he calls me, and he's like, Aaron calls me, and he's like, JJ, it's about to go down, So then,
knowing that you're going to tweet it out,
yes.
So he's giving you the scoop.
Yes, he's giving me the scoop.
What
he's like, I'm in here right now.
Man.
It's about to go down. Are you ready? What do you need? And I'm like, all right, just give me the numbers and the years and guarantees. So he started giving me all that. My wife's trying to tweet it out, but her phone is blowing up. People calling her and all that. So she's hanging up. People calling me, texting me like, man, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. And I'm like, man, this is stressful. I'm retiring from breaking stories. And then finally we got the numbers from Aaron. We tweeted it out, man. He was juiced that I was able to break it. And it was unbelievable but at the same time, I'm like, dang, Ian and them, this is a stressful job, man.
It is.
I can't do this trying to get your tweet out there before everybody, and everybody got their own little insiders in there and little connections. I'm like, this is stressful.
Well, so Aaron gave you a good teammate, gave you the scoop in your next career. I love that story. So what do you think about this week, his readiness for this week, James?
His readiness, I don't know how ready he's going to be, but I do know, me playing with Aaron, he's going out there. And, I mean, he will play well. I mean, we seen him, against the Bears stand in the pocket and throw the ball around. Now, we got a better defense coming in there. I'm sure Zimmer's not just going to let you stand back there and throw the ball. He's going to bring some heat after you. So I'm sure he'll have some plays and little hot routes and adjustments and stuff for that. But he's definitely going out there. He's just that type of guy. He don't like missing games, and he's going to go out there.
Well, also, this is it. I mean, the NFC North is up for grabs between these two teams. One would think, based on what we saw with the Lions and how they looked on Monday Night Football. I know it's just 1 week, but the Bears look improved, and to continue on and take that next step and hand the Vikings their first loss of the season. Certainly, when it's in your house, I think for sure he's going to be out there. But it's interesting how you say that Zimmer's not just going to let him sit back there. The Bears had Khalil Mack and playing at an absurdly high level.
Exactly.
What happened in the second half
but
of that game?
At the same time, the Bears didn't bring no heat after him. They didn't bring no blitzes. So you're expecting the 4-man rush to get there like it was getting there, in the first half. But then the second half, the Packers came out. They started getting some help on Khalil Mack, chipping him, bringing an extra tight end over there, blocking him, giving Aaron some more time. And they never brought any blitz. They just sat back in the zone. You cannot sit back in the zone on Aaron. So we all know Zimmer, a lot of exotic blitzes, trying to trick you. So I'm sure he'll bring some of that stuff after Aaron. And Aaron's familiar with Zim. It's the division opponent. So he'll be ready. But, yes, you're exactly right, Rich. You got to go out there. This is really for the division. I mean, you want to get a game up on a division opponent like the Vikings. If Buffalo was coming to town, then maybe you rest. You heal, let Deshaun Kaiser go out there. But this is a division game, and you need to get this one.
Yeah, you got a whole serve on home games in the division, certainly against the team that is the defending champs in your division.
Absolutely.
And that team is the one that knocked you out last year, literally, physically, all of it.
And that's in the back of his mind.
Is
right
it, do you think?
I think so, man. He's a competitive kid, you know what I mean? So he definitely remembers what happened. You put me out, Minnesota Vikings. I'm coming back, and, we're gonna see who the best in the North now.
James Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show. Is there any lingering resentment, you think, in the Raiders locker room over the Khalil Mack trade?
From watching that game and it being the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left, and you have Todd Gurley in your backfield, and you're up by 10 points, and you're play action passing. As an offense sitting over there, I'm knowing they are not play action passing if we got a guy like Khalil Mack coming to get the quarterback. Jared Goff was standing back there with a cup of coffee, just standing up there all day. You had 2 quarterback hits, 1 sack. You better believe that they're talking in that locker room like, man, we let a guy go out like Khalil Mack, that a lot of production, and we just let him walk. I'm not going to say for nothing because I don't know what we're going to get out of these first 2-round picks. But a team that kind of felt like they were built to win now, and you let your best player go, you better believe that they talking amongst each other in the locker room like that. Bad move.
Especially, I don't know if the quote you're going to talk about a little bit more, I think, in your news update, Chris, right? But unpack it, what Gruden talked about the pass rush. Did you see that?
Yeah. Do you want the full quote?
Just to give it a little
I
taste.
do, because I haven't heard this one.
Basically, he said they needed to get after the passer more.
And we got to look
and we're going to look
into why there was no pass rush.
We're going to look into why.
We got to look into that.
I think we all know the why. God.
And he also told Lisa Salters that it was obvious that Mack didn't want to be there. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely not. I was actually talking just in a total access meeting, and I was saying I was there when Khalil got drafted. I played with Khalil 1 year. And to me, that right there is that's how you lose a locker room, because Gruden, you've never met Khalil Mack. All these guys in the locker room have been with Khalil Mack for 4 or 5 years. So they know the type of teammate he is. Unbelievable teammate. I remember when we were 0-10 his rookie year, Derek Carr's rookie year, and every time we came in the meeting room, all the coach showed was plays of Khalil. We down by 40. Look at this guy. Balls to the wall, 100 miles per hour, going after every single play. So his teammates know that. So when you hear a comment like that as a teammate, that makes you mad, because you know the type of guy Khalil Mack is. And that's the fastest way you can lose a locker room, in my opinion.
So what do you think happens here? I mean, the Raiders are 0-1. We saw that. They've got a game at Denver this week. Division contest on the road. What do you think? Von Miller's coming down the pike. I mean, it's close to a facsimile of Khalil Mack as there is. You could make a case it's the other way around. Mack's the facsimile of Von Miller.
I know it sounds crazy, but I'm still a believer in the Raiders because, I mean, I believe Derek Carr is going to be a star in this league. You know what I mean? He had a bad game, but I believe he's going to be a star in this league. I believe you turn around and you hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch more. He was averaging 4 yards a carry. You know, so I think you give him the ball more. And I think Gruden is going to find ways to win some ball games. But whenever you have a good quarterback, and I believe Derek Carr is going to be special, you got a shot. So we still got to wait to see. I mean, they ran into a great defense week one. That's always hard when an offense is trying to figure out who they are, and then you run into a big-time defense. So I'm still a believer in the Raiders. I think they could find a way to get it done and get some wins here.
James Jones here, NFL Total Access tonight at 7 Eastern Time on the NFL Network with James and Cast of Thousands. What's the answer for the Cowboys offense, do you think? It's not good that your reaction to that is just to laugh, but what do you think the answer is here? Is there an answer?
They need a receiver, and I think his name is Dez Bryant. You got a guy that knows your offense. Come in right now, he knows all the signals. You don't got to pay him what he was making. When he comes into me and you let him know this is how it's supposed to go. Look, Dak is our leader. Don't come in here trying to, out-lead Dak and be the leader on the offense. Dak is our leader. We just want you to come in here, be Dez, make some plays. You're going to get one-on-one coverage. They put 8 in the box on Zeke. Let's make some plays because right now we don't have that guy. The Carolina Panthers put 8 in the box. Dak couldn't make no one-on-one throws and beat no one-on-one coverage and throw his receivers open. I think you need to bring in a guy like Dez Bryant who can beat the one-on-one coverage and make plays. He dropped 9 balls last year. If he don't drop those 9 balls, he has over 1,000 yards, and he's still a Cowboy. So it's safe to say if you bring him back and he doesn't drop them balls, he's still going to give you some great production, and he can beat one-on-one coverage.
Well, you hear what people say though, James, that he's might be a little bit too in your face for Dak, and that it's a more Dak-friendly environment without him there.
But it's about winning. The Dak-friendly environment, and then you go out there to Carolina and you look like that. It's about winning. Jerry Jones wants to win. These Cowboy fans wants to win. And I think you need a guy, a big-time receiver out there to make some plays. He doesn't have that. So they're going to continue to see 8 in the box. Dak, can you beat us? And I don't know if Dak is that guy that could throw the ball around the field and beat you.
Before we send James up the 405 to the NFL Network headquarters, ask him the poll question, Chris Brockman.
Yeah, James, looking at Le'Veon Bell's situation with the Steelers, what should they do with him? Wait it out, up the money on the franchise tender, or trade him?
Up the money on the franchise tender. I mean, you can't trade him, and I don't think it's a team out there that would come and trade for him because you got to realize, okay, what you're going to get him for 15 games because you still got to pay him a long-term deal. So I wouldn't trade him. I would up the franchise tender, get him in there, let's play. I know the young kid, Connor, had a great game, but there is no Le'Veon Bells out there. I mean, this is a once-in-a-generation type player, and you want to get him in the building.
But you know what management's like. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. If they go ahead and say, okay, here's more money on the tender, come in, what about the next time? What about somebody else?
Well, hopefully they can give him more money on the tender and then go into free agency next year and get him paid. I mean, I don't understand how the best running back in the National Football League can't get paid. Why can't you find a way to get this guy paid? With him on the field, you guys can win the Super Bowl, and that's what it's about, especially in Pittsburgh. They used to win it. You could win the Super Bowl. With him not there, I don't think you could go through that AFC and win the Super Bowl. Yeah, you got Big Ben, you got AB, but without this kid there, you cannot win the Super Bowl. So bring him in, raise his money, bring him in this year. Let's go win the Super Bowl. We'll worry about the contract in the offseason.
And then our other Twitter poll that we put out there, because I can't stand hearing that just one weekend the Giants should regret passing on Sam Darnold and the Browns as well. Barkley is no.
Yes, absolutely.
He's just like off the turnip truck here. Okay, he's awesome. He's generationally talented.
Absolutely.
Okay. So that said, Josh Allen named the starter this week. Which rookie do you think is going to have the more impressive week 2? Saquon Sunday night at the Giants, Darnold at home against the Dolphins, or Josh Allen's first career start against the Bills?
Saquon. I think Saquon against the Cowboys, he is going to have a huge game out there.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, he's gonna have a huge game. I mean, to go over 100 against a Jacksonville Jaguars defense, then you go into Dallas. I think you could see him easily over 150 with
Stage
2
is
touchdowns.
set.
Absolutely.
And he's that good to step into the spotlight when it's expected.
And you got to realize too, you can't load the box on him. You have Odell, you have Shepard, you got Ingram. They'll pick you apart if you load the box. So he's gonna have these 6 boxes and all that, and the type of player he is. 152 touchdowns, my prediction.
We'll check on the results as voted on our app and our Twitter account after this. But for the moment, thanks for coming here.
Not a problem,
Next,
man.
let's keep doing this.
Absolutely.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.